Hello there, Brian the Fanboy here, and today I'm gonna talk about The Flash. Now, I first found out about The Flash when I saw the promo for The Flash TV show from 1990, and yeah, it was on TV, and it was back when I was visiting my mother's side of the family for Christmas of 1997. Now, back then I didn't know it was an old TV show, but I remember other promos for Wonder Woman and Lois and Clark. So some sometime after me, my mother and sister came back to America in January of 1998. Well, yes, I think yeah, I saw the Flash in an episode of Superman, the animated series. I think it was called Speed Demons, but yes, and it was the episode where Superman and the Flash were participating in a race against each other for a charity event. Now, about the orange. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that I was 11 years old when I first learned about the Flash. Now, about his origins. Well, I first learned about the Flash's origins from this comic book that was given to each of my every student in the classroom I was in. When I was in fifth grade in the public school I went to. On the first page had information about the origins of the heroes in that comic book, and one of them was, of course, the Flash. And well, from what I read is that it said Wally West was as a kind of accident that involved chemicals and lightning, and it gave him the power of super speed. I mean, that was the short information I got. And then, anyway, the next time I saw the Flash on TV was in the cartoon series Justice League from 2001, and he was a member of the group in that show. And then, see, yes, and later, I learned that the Flash, eventually I learned there was more than one person who went as the Flash. The first one was, of course, Jay Garrick, and what how he got his powers was that he inhaled some kind of vapor while taking a smoke break, and this was inside the laboratory, and because of that, it gave him the power of super speed. And his costume, was more like a metallic helmet with wings, and he had some kind of like red sweater or red shirt with long sleeves with a lightning bolt on it, and blue jeans, and I think he had boots that also had wings on it, to make him look like the Greek god Hermes, who was called Mercury by the Romans. And then we get to the golden age of comic books, and that was the one that introduced Barry Allen, and his he was the first one to wear the Flash costume that people now know today, like this one. And also how he got his powers. Well, like Wally, he did get his powers during a laboratory accident that involved chemicals and lightning, and thus he became super fast. And well, once reading about Jake Garrick from a comic book, well, he tried to take up the name The Flash and made this kind of costume. And then that we got Wally West, and well, he too, he had the same accident that gave him the powers, like I mentioned before. Not only that, but he was a teenager at the time. You see, when Wally was first introduced to the comic books, he was he, oh yes, well, he was a teenager, and he was the nephew of Barry's girlfriend, Iris West. And when Barry married Iris, then Wally became Barry's nephew. And after after Wally got his powers, he became the Kid Flash. And well, at first his costume was kind of like a smaller version of Barry's costume, but eventually he was given a different costume to make it more like a yellow with a red lightning bolt on it and a yellow mask with a red lightning bolt in the mask. And also, we were in the Justice League cartoon series when they became Justice League Limited. Well, I was introduced to more of the Flash supervillains like Captain Cold, yeah, Captain Boomerang, the Trickster, Gorilla Grodd, and so many others. And then, well, what I learned is that how Wally became the Flash to become a Kid Flash was during the storyline Crisis of Infinite Earth around the end, well, Barry they did something that would save everybody. However, in the end, it cost him his life, and eventually he died. Although it's because he did have some time travel adventures before, both the past and the future. Well, his time travel itself would be bad, but he wasn't seen as often as he was before. Now, after Barry died, well, sometime afterwards, Wally decided to take up the mantle. He became the new Flash. Now, another speedster that was uh, Bart Allen, and from what I learned was that he was the grandson of Perry and Iris, and the son of Perry's and Iris' own son, and he came from the future and then traveled to back to the time when Perry was still active. And then after Perry died, and well, when he first arrived, he went by the name of Impulse, and then uh, oh yes, yeah, after Barry died and Wally became the new Flash, then Bart became the new Kid Flash. And also Bart, he appeared in an episode of Justice League. I think it was called no, I think it was called Run. And there was a scene where Clark found fake IDs. Well, and each of the names of those IDs were J. Garrick, Barry Allen, and Wally West. And Bart revealed his name was Bart Allen, and then the next time he appeared was in the episode where he joined this group of other heroes who started to team up with Oliver Queen, the Green Arrow. And I think that's the last time he was seen in the show. And then in the Smallville Senior 11 comic books, he died saving, trying to go over some kind of laser. But his death wasn't in vain because, it cured Superman of the radiation that caused his legs to keep an eye on him. Oh, and also when Justice League became Justice League Unlimited, well, turns out there was a we were introduced to Wally's girlfriend Linda, Linda Park, and well, in the comic books, they ended up getting married and had their own children. And then eventually, there was some event I didn't read that part, but I mean, don't know what comic book was in, but eventually Bart, we made it. Well, Wally, Linda, and the kids disappeared mysteriously, and then Bart became the new Flash. But then Wally and Linda came back along with the children, and Wally became the Flash again. Another time the Flash appeared on TV was in the episode of the let's see, oh yes, the Batman, and this was a Barry Allen Flash. Yeah, his first appearance was, when he was introduced with other heroes, and then there was an episode with him as a guest hero, and he appeared again, when to try to form Justice League and that show. And then there was not there was an episode of Batman, the Brave and the Bold, where it involved Barry's something about Barry died. It was, but I think he came back eventually in that show. But anyway, as for Jay Garrick, well, I think the first time he was ever seen on TV was, let's see, yeah, I think it was in maybe I saw him in Justice League Unlimited, but I don't know. But I do remember that he was also in Batman the Brave and the Bold. And Jay's first live action appearance was in the Smallville episode Absolute Justice, where he well, he was seen as some kind of old news footage from the 1950s, where he and a bunch of other heroes from the past were arrested for crimes they didn't commit. And then, well, in the comic books, well, I did learn that Barry came back despite what happened on President Earth. Of course, I didn't really read the storyline that explained it, but I did learn that sometime after his return, well, Barry made the decision to go back in time and prevent his mother from being killed. You see, when he was a child, Barry's mother was killed in front of him, and then his father was arrested, and there was no way any of them could prove his innocence. And that kind of led to the decision of Barry becoming a police detective, so he could find out clues, so he can prove his dad was innocent. And well, anyway, Barry went back in time, and he managed to save his mother from whoever killed her. However, when he got back, well, the world was different. I mean, both his parents are still alive, and it was a good thing. However, he's tampering with the past, kind of caused a change, got the world, the world to change in ways that was extreme. For example, for one thing, Superman landed in Metropolis, which killed many people over there, and he was from the government and not by the Kents. And another change was that it was Bruce Wayne who was killed with the child instead of having his parents murdered in front of him. And let's see, some kind of tragedy happened with the Atlantis, which caused the Atlanteans to move to Themyscira with the Amazons. And then, uh, well, there was some kind of Arthur Curry and Princess Diana, that get involved, and America jealous, and somehow Wonder Woman ended up killing Mera, and it caused a war between Atlantis and Themyscira, and it kind of affected the entire world. And well, this was beginning known as Flashpoint. And once Barry realized what his actions in the past had resulted in, well, he decided to go back and fix things. However, because his mother, he prevented his mother from getting killed, it didn't, well, it didn't give his younger self the motivation to become a police detective, a forensic scientist, which eventually led to the accident that gave him his powers. So he got the Batman of the Flashpoint universe, which turned out to be Thomas Wayne, and so he got his powers back and went back in time to make sure everything goes back to the way it was, if it means let his mother die again, like it was before. And then once he let history go back to the way it was, he went back to well, he went forward in time again. Of course, he saw from what I heard was or read three potential universes or timelines, and well, he had to make a decision, and he went to one, and eventually that started the New 52, and where everything in the entire universe was rebooted. Back to television. Well, I did see the Flash TV show. From that thing it aired on 2014 was the CW one, and well, the Barry Allen character first appeared in a two-part episode of Arrow, or at least two episodes of Arrow, and well, in the second appearance on the show, well, there was it showed the accident uh, that he was known that gave him his powers, and it was almost like a complete recreation of the way it was shown in the TV show from 1990. Oh, I forgot to mention, I did see the episodes of the 1990 Flash TV series. Of course, I saw it on this website called WP, which do have a lot of WP shows over there. But unfortunately, when I got to the second half of the series, I wasn't able to watch because it was removed the entire series, so I never got a chance to finish it. But maybe I will watch it again or buy a DVD someday. Yes, and then eventually we had a Flash TV show which show Barry he already has his powers and he has his own team, just like Oliver has his own team in the TV show Arrow. And eventually that was the first show to appeared from the Arrow show, which and eventually more other shows based on these superheroes will come. Like Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, yeah, so many others. They even did the Flashpoint storyline in that where Barry, did go back to save his mother from being murdered, but just like in the comic book, it also changed the world. It caused the world to be different than it was, and he had to go back and fix things and let history go back to the way it was. And then when he came back, well, it didn't really change a thing. I mean, it changed back, but there was a few changes as well. And there was an episode where Barry decided to go back in time again to make sure it gets fixed again. However, Jay, who he met, at least the real Jay Garrick, who he met in a previous episode, well, saw him and explained to him that time is like a cup, and no matter how many times you break it, it will never be what it once was. And so Barry decided to not mess around with time travel ever again. as for the movie, well, oh yeah, I forgot to mention about the TV show. Yes, I did follow, episodes on the weeklies, but then, I stopped because, well, one of the crossover, one of the annual crossovers had something that, when I realized that he went too far with something, so I decided to, no, not watch any more, um, superhero shows on the CW. Not to follow them anymore because of the direction they were going. I mean, like The Flash, Hour, and all the others I've been watching because, well, yes, couldn't, stand it anymore. No, as for movies, well, well, The Flash's first appearance, well, in a way, it was kind of like in Batman and the Justice, but, it was a Barry solving a bank robber, and then Barry's next theatrical appearance was in the Justice League movie, and where he teamed with all the other team up with Batman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, and then Superman later on, who joined later. And it's going to be a like Flashpoint movie. I already saw the trailer for it, and well, I don't know what's gonna when it's gonna be unless I see it, and any other stuff's gonna be in it. Well, I won't know unless it until I hear any announcements about it. So yes, I think that's all I can talk about the Flash in this video. And I'm not being paid by Warner Brothers or DC Comics to talk about the Flash. I'm just sharing my thoughts on the character. So yes, and also oh yeah, discuss forgot to mention discussing my buddies at Amazon and years ago, and yeah, it was the first costume I bought over there, and one of the first few new costumes from Amazon I bought that would wear at conventions. These so far I remember wearing them at two conventions. I don't know if I wore them at others, but or this at others, but yeah. So like yes, I think that's all I can say about the Flash in this video, and also please subscribe to my channel because it will help you a lot, and also please share this video on social media like Facebook, Twitter, or whatever. So that's it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.